Do you ever wonder how your favorite video games are made? What about roguelikes, whose sprawling dungeons are different every run? The answer, it turns out, is a blend of technology and design. Named after the 1980 game Rogue, roguelikes are dungeon-crawling games distinguished by their procedurally generated levels. Procedural content generation, or PCG, is the use of algorithms to automate content creation, such as by making unique levels, environments, and quests. PCG techniques benefit developers by lowering production costs while increasing replayability. In many roguelikes, PCG layouts are applied to pre-built rooms to maintain a handcrafted feel. Today, we'll look at just one method of doing this, known as graph rewriting. Graph rewriting utilizes the basic data structure of a graph, which consists of nodes or vertices and edges that connect the nodes to one another. Let's use them to map out our own dungeon. This is Dog Knight. Dog Knight has entered the lair of the nefarious and pretty adorable Cat Witch. Already, we know that we will need a start room for Dog Knight to spawn in, a boss room for the Cat Witch, and some amount of content in between. Here, we'll use nodes to represent rooms and edges for corridors. Notice that we always want Dog Knight to begin at the start node and end at the boss node, but we want to randomize the content in between. Say that we've designed a pool of rooms in 4 categories: puzzles, combat, traps, and treasure. We want the algorithm to randomly pull rooms from these categories and create a unique layout for Dog Knight to explore every time she enters the dungeon. We'll make a graph of just one possible layout. Our graph will be a simple branch and bottleneck, in which nodes grow out like branches of a tree and reconnect at one point, forming a structure with a fixed start and end, but a flexible center. Using our 4 categories, we will randomly choose which one belongs to each node. I'm building this by hand, but a developer will typically write their own algorithm. Then we'll iteratively or repeatedly apply a set of rules to rewrite or modify the graph. Our rules can be anything. We can swap nodes, replace a pair, or even delete some entirely. To keep it simple, we'll do 3 replacements over a single iteration. But there's no one right way to design a dungeon. It's up to you to decide what works based on your needs. Now we have a level, so let's test it out. Dog Knight begins in the start room of Path A. She solves a box puzzle, fights a swarm of rats, collects some treasure, fights the Cat Witch's devout minion, and proceeds to the boss fight. Or she takes Path B, where she dodges a spike trap, picks up an attack boost, fights a bewitched poodle, and so on. In each path, Dog Knight faces different obstacles, but she ultimately ends up at the same destination. That's the power of procedural content. You can personalize the player's journey in ways that you couldn't by hand, creating an experience that is truly like no other.